Welcome back. Today on Meow, we're going to talk about something that I have been seeing on Facebook accounts that I do not follow but somehow keep getting suggested, and that is, no, the Snyderverse is not good. I don't know why people are defending the series, but it's kind of weird and it needs to chill out, okay? So today, we are going to go through the movies of the Snyderverse, and I'm going to give them a quick ranking, and then I'm going to explain why the movies work or don't, and most of them don't. So let's do that. Okay, so just getting a little bit into the history of it before we get started. There were apparently 18 projects that were either shot or announced or released that would have qualified as being in the DCEU Snyderverse. Now, some of these are not, I guess, technically considered part of the Snyderverse if he didn't directly make the movies. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the cutoff is for what's considered a Snyderverse project, but obviously we're just going to look at the things that have been released. And I'm just looking up IMDb DCEU Snyderverse, so if it's technically not in the Snyderverse, shut the hell up. So the movies that we have here are, and this is just their listing of it, I'm guessing it's by ratings, Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Suicide Squad, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam, and The Flash. Yep, that's it. So just on the outset here, I didn't watch The Flash because I don't support Ezra Miller's. Everything that I could tell about it sucked ass, so I don't think we need to talk about that one. But let's just go down the list here. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins. Actually, really good movie. I liked it a lot. It showed a naive lead become more world weary, I guess, in a sense, and it also showed her falling in love and basically coming into her own by the end of the film. But it was done tastefully. It wasn't just done like she was perfect from the beginning and then became more perfect by the end, like some other Captain Marvel, like it literally exactly like Captain Marvel. Yeah, no, Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, very good. I didn't even see Wonder Woman 2 listed on here. Did I skip it? No, for some reason it's not listed on here. Well, anyways, Wonder Woman 2 came out and then it sucked. It was weird. She wished for her dead lover to come back, and then he spirit possessed some other dude who wasn't dead, by the way. It's not like he died and he took over the body, which is already weird enough. No, he's just like an alive dude that I guess is just chilling outside of space and time for the length of this movie. Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't really develop their relationship any, and she has to sacrifice the exact same thing she did at the end of the first film. So it's a complete retread. They try to do something with Cheetah and, kind of, I want to be like you because you're perfect. But they don't actually, resolve the main issue that Cheetah had. And I think superhero movies are best when the villain has a point to make about the hero's flaws, or at least about the hero's neglect of some aspect of their life. But it wasn't resolved at the end, so it was kind of weird. Man of Steel. Man of Steel is okay. I don't think anybody really goes to the theaters to watch Superman be depressed for 143 minutes. But that's what we got here. Again, it's fine. It's kind of an okay way to start the DCEU because you're wanting to do a darker tone and everything, but I like my characters to act, and Henry Cavill is a fantastic actor. If you've ever seen him in The Witcher or Mission Impossible 6, he's really good, but he's not really given much to do. And I like the idea of Superman being more of a stoic character, but, dramatize it a bit. Come on, give me a face other than... I don't have the jawline quite to do it, but you know what I mean. Batman v Superman. This is when the DC EU really started to fall apart, which is hilarious because it was the second movie in the universe. What hasn't been said about this movie already? All right, yeah, they've got the Ultimate Edition that adds like probably like an extra like 30 minutes to it, and it fleshes out the plot a little bit, but we have a lot of the same problems that are present in Man of Steel, but they're hyper fixed in this movie. For one, the obvious one, they try to just shoehorn in everybody that's going to appear in the Justice League movie via email. The most interesting superhero movie ever made. Batman reads an email. Ooh, like, dude, I do that all the damn time. Like, I'm tired of reading emails. Stop bringing them. Stop putting emails in movies, and stop. You know, this is gonna be a completely different episode, but please, for the love of God, stop doing web search montages in your movies. That's not interesting. I Google stuff all the time. I don't need to go to the movies to watch that. Apart from that, we don't really get much character development over the course of the movie, and it has one of the weirdest payoffs in the entire world where, you know, obviously Superman says, "Save Martha," instead of "Save my mom," or "Lex has my mom." So he just says "Save Martha," and you know, Batman's like, "Holy shit! I only know one other person in the fucking world whose name is Martha." No, I mean, I get it. It's supposed to see the humanity that this alien has, but I mean, good lord, they could have done that in 100 other ways that would have worked much better. And also, Batman's kind of a psychopath in this movie, and then by the time Justice League comes around, he's a completely different person. Speaking of which, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 242-minute movie that is probably got an extra 100 minutes in it that is not needed at all. Doesn't help with world building. All it really helps is with tone, I guess. And that's the best thing you can say about Zack Snyder's Justice League, is that the tone is a lot better than the, you know, butchered version that came out in the theaters, as well as I like Zack Snyder's cinematography, and I think that's a given for all of the movies that he directs. I really like his cinematography. The man has a way with just creating images on the screen that are phenomenal and that you want to go see in theaters. And his lighting's also really good too. Yeah, other than that, it's bloated. The ending obviously is a lot better with Flash actually contributing something by the end. You feel the payoff of Superman being raised from the dead a lot more. I don't know necessarily if it should have been done in the next movie in the series, but hey man, what are you gonna do? I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. It's still the same old kind of weird plot where it's like, hey, we need to bring Superman back from the dead because bad guy is gonna be coming, and it's like, okay, really feeling that sacrifice. It's one of my biggest pet peeves about movie franchises nowadays. It's like, you can't kill somebody. Like, if I was in a movie, I would just shoot everyone who ever made me mad because I knew that they would come back in the sequel. So it's like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I'm going to have an existential crisis talking about this. All right, let's move on. Suicide Squad. All right, again, what hasn't been said about this movie? It sucks. Just everything about the movie is bad. It tries to channel James Gunn in a really funny way, but not funny as in like, oh man, he really pulled it off. Funny as in, what the hell were you thinking? And also, that one's butchered to hell by the studios, apparently, which is a running theme in this. Aquaman, take it or leave it. I don't care. I don't care. You know, Amber Turd is in the movie, and that's great. And apparently she gets to be in the sequel, which is fantastic. I love when abusers are in film. It really makes things come to light. I wouldn't say the film is shit, unlike Her Bed, but just take it or leave it. It's fine. Some of the cinematography is pretty good. I like James Wan with his horror stuff, kind of, but I get his direction in horror stuff, I think, is okay, although the last Conjuring movie was not very good. Didn't really get anything out of this movie that I was personally wanting. So, Shazam, again, it's fine. I like the story of kid Billy Batson wanting to find his mom and then coming to terms with the fact that she just didn't want him. And that's pretty powerful, and it shows like an actually decent foster family situation, which is nice to see. I know it's not always the norm, but it is nice to see every now and then. You know, it's not a, you know, their success rate isn't 100%, but neither is their failure rate. But yeah, it's okay. The humor was a little Gen Z-y. Humor was a little Gen Z-ish for me, but that's, you know, that's what happens when people get older. They start working. Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was I didn't care for it at all. Yeah, this is actually one of the few movies where I got so bored I never actually finished it. It's not for me. It wasn't, like, the acting was fine, but the direction was kind of eh. Story was whatever. Ewan McGregor was in it, and I was excited because I like him. And then he was just like normal bad guy, but also gay. Okay, just a little hint thing that we can still release in China. It's like, okay, guys, real fucking progressive over there. The Suicide Squad. Okay, I don't know if this one is really in the Snyderverse, but damn, this is a good movie. All right, Sylvester Stallone plays a shark. How can you not like the movie? But yeah, no, in all seriousness, this is a movie that actually cares about its characters and actually cares about emotional catharsis, as well as telling a relatively basic plot. And you know what? That's really all you need from a movie. Give me a more or less simple plot. Maybe you can have a little backstabbing and, you know, off here on the side, but yeah, just keep the plot A to B and then make the characters dynamic. I mean, that's all you need. And it works wonders here, and it's a really good movie, and I highly recommend it. You gotta pick the Suicide Squad, the one with the article at the front. If you pick Suicide Squad, you're gonna... What the hell was the guy who, like, ran off in Suicide Squad and his head exploded? See, I don't even know. Anyways, you're gonna be like him. Peacemaker, the TV show, not entirely my thing, although I will say some bits were pretty good, but pacing in that show was god-awful. Just every scene went on way too long, especially if it was a comedy show, especially if it was a comedy scene. Other than that, writing's pretty solid. Stakes felt pretty high. Yeah, I'd watch a season 2 if they cleaned up their, if they didn't give themselves a celebratory hand job every time they had a funny joke, maybe it would, you know, maybe it would go a little bit better. But Shazam! Fury of the Gods, I don't think we did a movie review for that, but I do know that I did not like it at all. I was very bored. It was basic, hardly any character development for anybody at all. They went for the most obvious jokes that you can imagine. And the one girl who Shazams into the slightly older girl, and we did a review for Black Adam back in October, and you can hear our thoughts about that, but they were all pretty bad. I said at the outset that I was going to rank all these, but I thought there was only going to be like 5. I didn't realize there were so many. So I have no care whatsoever to rank them. But the point that I want to make about this video, don't glorify something just because you don't like something else. I think that's the main point that I want to draw here, and I think this is something that people accuse Star Wars fans of doing when it comes to the prequels versus the sequels. You can enjoy whatever you want. You can enjoy bad media. I like Velocipaster a lot. It's one of our favorite movies to watch, my friends and I, whenever we get together. We've done it at least twice, as well as the times that we've watched it on our personal basis. I mean, you can like bad media. That's fine. Don't say it's good just because you don't like something else. Don't say the prequels are good just because you don't like the sequels. Don't say the Snyderverse is good just because you don't like what James Gunn may or may not do in his films. And with that, I've been Kyle, and I still am, and you can get the hell out of my house.